So you're looking to buy your first house and you're wondering, how many homes should I look at before I commit and pull the trigger? Hi, I'm Carlos Colon with Georgia Perimeter Homes, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So guys, there's no secret here, but you need to understand what we walk through, especially as real estate agents on a daily basis. The real answer here is there's no magic number. It can be the first house you walk into, it could be house number 100. But it's all boiling down to your particular situation. And so this is a time versus need question. And so if I need to be in a home in 45 days, and I know that I'm only going to be in that home for the next 3 years, maybe it's not so important that that house be absolutely perfect as long as I'm buying it for the right price. And then at that point when I go to sell it, then I'm making some money and then moving on to what comes next. And that might need to be closer to perfect at that point in time. So this really boils down to you as the client and your needs. So I've run into situations before where I've shown people 3 houses and immediately house number 1 is it, okay? And so it really boils down to asking questions and understanding what your needs are. That's why it's the time versus needs. And so if I don't mind waiting a year or two, I don't necessarily have to buy another home. Okay, then let's talk about why you're thinking about buying a home in the first place. Do you need to sell in order to buy? Do you need a bigger house? Is there a timeline associated with that? Maybe you've got a child on the way. Well, when's that child going to be born? And then don't we want to be settled in that home before that child comes so that you've got a nice nursery for them? It just depends on you and your family situation. Okay, so think about your situation, write down your needs list, and that's going to be the next thing that we talk about. Understand your needs list, okay? And so you need to differentiate your needs from your wants. Those are not the same thing here. In a lot of situations, your needs is going to encompass how many bedrooms do I need, bathrooms, what area do I need to be in, and then also what condition home do I need to be in. And so for some people, maybe I'm 65 and I need to be in a 1-bedroom home. I don't want stairs. Okay, that's a need. I don't need stairs. That's an issue for me. Okay, that's a need. Want, I would like to have a pool. It's not the end of the world if I can't have a pool, okay? And so that's the difference between those two. And so we base your search off of what I need, and then the price point will also differentiate where within that wants list, how many of those can I cover within the price that I want to be, okay? And so make 2 lists. Make sure that everything on the needs list is checked off when we're pulling the trigger, and then maybe some of the things on the want list will be on there too. Okay, but everything on the needs list needs to be covered. Not everything is a need, and that's what we need to determine here. All right, so ask yourself the question, why is this important to me? That's the best way to differentiate between the need and the want. All right, and then moving on to the next thing is going to be understand your time limit or your time frame. Like we talked about before, if maybe we're having a baby in 6 months and the baby's going to be here in 6 months, I really want to be in that home at least 2 months prior to that to make sure that we're settled, we're comfortable, we can unpack, and everything's in its place before life gets crazy. Because Lord knows by the time that baby comes, I don't want to go anywhere for the next month or 2. I want to focus on that, get it squared away. But everyone's situation is different. Maybe I have to move for work and my timeline's much quicker and I'm moving out of state for that. And so that timeline could be completely different. When we deal with military relocation, when they get orders, sometimes they have to move like that. And so we have to be very ready for that to happen. We have to be very ready for that to happen in a military relocation situation. And so it depends on your family and your variables when it comes to time limit. And then your agent should do a good job by working backwards from when you have to be there to determine when we must be under contract by in order to meet that timeline for you. And then at that point, that'll really determine when do we pull the trigger at the latest. So we know what our search process is going to look like. All right? Next, don't waste your time looking at homes that don't fulfill your needs list. there's no point. I don't care how pretty it is. If it's not in the area that you need to be in, there's no point in looking at the hour away property that is 1,000 square feet bigger, because we know no matter what, 6 to 8 months later, you're not going to be happy with the commute. So we've got to make sure that we narrow it down to what's important for you, okay? And it's very easy to just throw a bunch of stuff on the wall and hope it's going to stick just because the house is pretty. I promise you, no matter how pretty the house is, that drive is going to become a headache if it's in the wrong area, okay? And so just make sure that you understand that is just because it's pretty doesn't mean we should look at it. Focus on the needs list. Let's knock that out and check it out first, all right? So that becomes a time versus money question, okay? And whether you realize it or not, number one, for every minute that we, even as agents, are at a home helping you, that is money to us. We don't get paid right then and there. So every hour that we're spending together is another hour where we could have been helping that negotiation or doing anything else, or it could have been an hour that you would have been at work making more money. So we want to make sure that we protect that time for both of our sakes. All right, moving on. Last thing is make sure that your agent has asked enough questions to understand you and your family's position. A lot of mistakes happen when agents and clients don't communicate. And so we've got to make sure that the agent is asking enough questions to understand our situation, what our needs are, and when we need to be there by. So make sure you have that conversation on the front side so we don't waste a whole lot of time looking at things that don't fit the bill for us. We narrow it down, and if the agent's done a great job for you, at that point we really should find the perfect home within the first or second time out, which is going to be great. The next question is going to be, how do we negotiate it? And for questions on that or answers on that, make sure you check out that video. All right, so thank you guys so much. If there's anything that we can do, please give us a call. Our number is 770-314-1285, or check out our website at www.georgiaperimeterhomes.com. Bye.